Lewis Hamilton, Toto Wolff cranks up Valtteri Bottas pressure with Esteban Ocon claim Hamilton won his 5th world title this year with the help of fellow Mercedes driver Valtteri Bottas. However, Bottas came under intense scrutiny for failing to win a race and finishing 5th in the standings, despite having the same car as Hamilton. The Finn is out of contract at the end of next season and many pundits and supporters expect Esteban Ocon, who is without a seat for 2019, to partner Hamilton in the future. And Wolff admitted the youngster could be in line to be the next Mercedes driver. However, the team principal did give his half-hearted backing to Bottas, who is driving for his future. Yes, of course, Esteban is a factor for us in the future, Wolff told ESPN. We have options for Esteban for 2020, but of course he might also be an option for Mercedes. It depends how the season pans out in Mercedes and how Valtteri goes. Still, we haven't lost any of our trust in Valtteri. We are 100% behind him because there is the trust within our drivers, because if we wouldn't be behind him, we might as well make the change now. We think that he's our man, and then obviously Esteban is in the starting blocks because he's keen to drive that car. Wolff also explained why Bottas' performance dipped after his championship hopes were dashed. I think that for any driver it's very difficult to overcome a situation where you need to back your teammate for a driver's championship, he added. I think that is normal when you are taking away the single most important motivation for a racing driver, which is to be able to compete for a world championship. And I think we have seen that effect in Valtteri last year after Spa and this year after Monza. And he knows that. I think as long as he's in the hunt for the championship, he's going to drive at a very high level. That is the most important. I don't think it makes a difference whether he wins the races or not. This is because he knows that after the summer he was basically only second in line to win the race. He would have won in Sochi maybe. So on paper he should have had at least 2 or 3 wins this season. Next news: Hamilton deserves more recognition, says Wolff. Lewis Hamilton may be the greatest Formula One driver of all time, but negativity and envy are denying him the recognition he deserves, according to his Mercedes team boss Toto Wolff. Comparing the 5-time world champion to retired Ferrari great Michael Schumacher, Wolff suggested people might not appreciate the 33-year-old Briton's achievements until he too had left the scene. Not everybody recognizes a great career, a great sportsman or greatness overall while it's happening. There is a lot of negativity and envy whilst it happens, Wolff told Reuters in a telephone interview. It's only been recognized once a career has ended as having been really great, and I don't know why that is. We are extremely privileged in following a career of maybe the greatest racing driver of all time. Obviously Michael has set the records and was unbelievable, but Lewis is on a similar trajectory, he added. Also with Michael, it was only recognized after he retired and even more when tragedy struck. And I think it's a pity. Schumacher, who turns 50 in January, has not been seen in public since the German suffered severe head injuries in a skiing accident 5 years ago. Hamilton has set a string of records on his way to his 5th title this season, and could go on to match Schumacher's 7 championships and 91 wins. The Briton, now on 73 victories, has won 51 of the 100 Grands Prix in the V6 turbo era that started in 2014 and 4 of the last 5 championships. Hamilton also has a record 83 pole positions and is only the 3rd driver ever to win 5 titles or more. Runner-up last Sunday, he was runner-up in the BBC's Sports Personality of the Year Awards, a public vote to Tour de France winner Geraint Thomas. He was condemned on social media for slum comments about his boyhood town Stevenage, words he later clarified, and has been criticized for moving to the tax haven of Monaco where many other Formula One drivers reside. "We are live spectators, live witnesses of a great racing driver at the peak of his abilities," said Wolff. "You are very much inspired by success. In Europe it triggers much more envy and negativity. I am certainly biased because I have an emotional attachment to Lewis, for me the greatest sports person that is in his career in Britain." Wolff said Hamilton was fully motivated to chase his 6th title next season and that the Briton, who leads a jet-setting celebrity lifestyle with interests in fashion and music away from the racetrack, would also not be the champion he was without dividing opinion. "Everybody wants to be recognized, particularly in their own country, and in order to achieve the success he has, you need to be sensitive," he said. "He is that exceptional sports personality also because he polarizes. And I think at the end of the day, he's thinking that he'd rather polarize than be just in the middle and boring." He stays true to himself and his values, and that is the most important thing. Mercedes have won both titles for the past 5 years, something only Ferrari had ever done previously, and the German manufacturer has enjoyed the best year of its motorsport history. Their British driver George Russell won the Formula 2 title, Schumacher's son Mick was European Formula 3 champion in a Mercedes-powered car, and Mercedes also won the DTM, German Touring Car, Championship. "I think we have achieved records this year which I think the sport has not seen," said Wolff. "We have exciting new challenges ahead with Formula E that we are going to embark on in Season 6, 2019-20, replacing DTM, and in the same way Formula One provides its own challenges about staying relevant. I have no doubt that Ferrari and Red Bull in Formula One are going to continue to push the organization too. Remaining on top and setting benchmarks is an exciting objective." Next news: Hamilton says he made a mistake with slum comments. 5 times Formula One world champion Lewis Hamilton has apologized to residents of his boyhood hometown Stevenage for suggesting he grew up in a slum. The Briton, his country's most successful racing driver, said on national television at Sunday's BBC Sports Personality of the Year Awards that it had been a dream for him and his family to get out of the slums. "Well, not the slums, but to get out of somewhere and do something," the Mercedes driver, who is now a multi-millionaire with homes in Monaco and the United States, added immediately after. The comment drew condemnation from offended civic authorities and on social media. Hamilton, who speaks often about his journey from an underprivileged background to the pinnacle of motor racing, said in an Instagram post on Tuesday that he had made a mistake. The 33-year-old, only the 3rd driver to win 5 championships, said he was super proud to come from the commuter town some 40 kilometers north of London where he was born and raised. "Nobody is perfect and I definitely make mistakes quite often, particularly when you are up in front of a crowd trying to find the right words to express the long journey you've had in life," he said. "I chose the wrong words. I didn't mean anything by it, and those of you who know me know that I always mean love." Hamilton finished second in the awards, behind Tour de France winner Geraint Thomas. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.